Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to the NoDQ review here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, of course. Joining us once again, he is back. Guess who's back? Back again. Our old buddy El Virtuoso was deported back to Mexico, so back with us early from suspension on good behavior is the one and only greatest columnist in NoDQ history, Mr. Virtue. How's it going, Virtue?
All right, so I'm going to start this properly, Aaron. This should have never happened. I'm back. I'm going to pretend it never happened, and I've always been here. I don't know who that El Virtuoso guy was. Get him out of here. So with that said, No DQ Galaxy, I am Virtue. It's great to be back on the No DQ review. Let me introduce everybody. So since I've been here last, we now have Jeff Meacham on the show and PA sensation Greg Cherry. Jeff, how's it going?
It is good to be here on the NoDQ Review with the man who started the NoDQ Review in the first place. Virtue's back, and not only is Virtue back, but I have a debut today. If you want one of these, let Aaron know. The official NoDQ.com baseball cap, courtesy of Undecided Apparel here in Santa Clarita, or wherever we get it. We'll see what happens.
Nice, and the baseball season actually started today, so
opening day today for baseball. Yes. I got to get the baseball cap going, and I know Greg has definitely got baseball on his mind, don't you, PA Sensation?
Yeah, specifically, yeah, I got to be the big heel. Yes, I'm from Pennsylvania, but I root for the Yankees, and they won today, which is the first time they've won on opening day in years. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling in the baseball mood, but this is wrestling season. This is WrestleMania season, so we got a lot to get.
But even
interesting that you're a Yankees fan.
Knows that the Pirates suck, so it's okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, heck, even Barry Bonds couldn't get them into the World Series. And I'm a Bonds fan. So with that said,
Aaron, what's going on?
How's it going? Aaron?
You're asking me how it's going? I just heard you guys talking about baseball, so I'm...
And he's zoned out.
Yeah, I'm zoning everybody out. Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm so happy you're back, believe it or not. You know, I did not want to suspend you. I had no choice, but you were very well behaved for the most part. There were little issues here and there on social media, but overall, good behavior.
Issues. I just put people in their place. And that awkwardness that you had right there for a second while we were talking baseball reminded me of Ronda Rousey on ESPN. I want to bring this up as our number one topic and get everybody's thoughts. It's WrestleMania season. WWE knew for a while now they were bringing Ronda Rousey into the picture. She debuted at the Royal Rumble, shook Stephanie's hand, pointed at the WrestleMania sign. This girl can't cut a promo. She's green in the ring. Sure, she's a great real fighter, but is this working in the land of sports entertainment? Because I think WWE needs to protect her. Because she... Granted, how do you go on ESPN? This cannot be a work. Jeff, I want to start with you. She is clueless in front of that camera. Are we being worked?
No, yeah, I don't honestly know at this point, Virtue. It seems to me that she's still very deer in the headlights. Like she was on ESPN. She's been on a few things the last week where she's been very like, look at me, I'm on WWE now, and I'm so happy. It's like, no, you got to be intense, badass, rowdy Ronda Rousey. You got to be in there ready to kick serious butt at WrestleMania, take down Triple H, take down Stephanie. And yeah, she cut a little promo. I saw her Instagram story, I think it was yesterday, that she was talking about, kicking the SHIT out of everybody else at WrestleMania. But it's like, yeah, you can do that on Instagram, but you got to be in front of the camera on ESPN, on these different shows, and especially on Monday Night Raw, where she hasn't been here and there. So, I notice Aaron's wearing the Roddy Piper t-shirt in honor of Ronda Rousey. I've got the bubblegum soda. There you go, Roddy Piper. But you got to bring in Piper's attitude toward everything, toward the business and toward the media, where you are who you are, Ronda, and you cannot be this, look at me, I'm so happy. It's like, no, you got to be badass from Jump Street.
And you know what I think? Well, you know what I think real quick here, Jeff? That they're not protecting Ronda like they should.
Exactly.
Because WWE has done this for years. They have people there, Triple H, Stephanie, Vince. They know how this works. When you see something that's awkward, I mean, unless that's what they're playing into for her, just so the payoff of her going nuts at Mania and beating the crap out of Stephanie. Greg, what do you think?
I don't know if I have an opinion one way or the other. I don't want to give too much crap to Ronda because she's really new in the business. So I'm willing to give her more of the benefit of the doubt. The whole thing with ESPN, the interview she had, I think part of that was on ESPN2, not the channel ESPN2, ESPN also. It was on them also they were asking more about her MMA career than they were about wrestling. And she's past MMA. It's like, we don't want to talk about the past. We want to talk about the here and the now, why you're here on the show promoting WrestleMania. It's like UFC was years ago. So put that in the past. But I don't want to give any crap to her in the ring because we haven't seen her work a match yet. So let's wait till WrestleMania, give her the benefit of the doubt. Don't crap all over her because it's her first match at WrestleMania. Let's see what happens. I'm willing to give things a chance before I completely bury them.
And Aaron, I want to know what you think here too. I remember when Rousey first came in, I was actually a little skeptical on one of our videos, and I've since backtracked, and I've been really supporting her. So me coming out today, firing everybody up with this topic, it's because I can't deny what I'm seeing. I mean, I was at Raw on Monday night in Cleveland, and she gets a pop. People are interested in her. But even being there in person, her ring timing's off. And I'm not an expert, but I've been in a ring with some wrestlers, so I kind of know how the timing thing can go. Aaron, what do you think?
I agree with you on that. I felt like the stuff she did was very awkward on Raw. Now, how will she fare at WrestleMania? That remains to be seen. I think Greg said it well. We have to wait and see what happens. As far as the ESPN interviews go, the clip I posted on NoDQ, I felt that the one guy who was asking her the question worded the question in a weird way, and I don't really blame her for responding the way she did. But yeah, I feel like she hasn't really, in terms of the hype for WrestleMania, really hasn't lived up to the expectations yet. And I did a poll on NoDQ.com about it, where I asked people which match you most excited for, and right now the tag match with Ronda Rousey is dead last as far as being the match people are most excited for at WrestleMania. And this match could very well be the main event. So in terms of hype, I don't think it's lived up to the expectations, but we'll see if they can deliver at WrestleMania. It's going to be a big test for them, though, in my opinion.
What was number one on that list? Sorry, I did not click on there yet. What was number one?
It was AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Okay, yeah, as I figured it would be. Now, for me, number one going into WrestleMania is still this Undertaker and Cena. And I have heard a lot of Twitter feedback. Virtue, how can you be so excited for this match? Taker hasn't even shown up. We don't even know if he's got anything left in the tank. It's 7 years too late. There's no streak. Look, it's John Cena, who I've always been against because he was the force-fed guy. Everyone knows I support Roman Reigns. Maybe it's me just saying, you know what? I'm going to like what WWE says I should like because maybe that'll make me enjoy the other stuff more. Miz, for example, AJ and Nakamura. So I'm trying to play that game. I don't want to hate too much, right? Although, you know, virtues rage. But with that said, still no Undertaker. Will something happen on Raw? If it doesn't, can this thing play out legendary at WrestleMania? Greg, I want to start with you. I'm hyped for this, man. I'm going to be there, so maybe I'm biased. Never seen Cena versus Undertaker live. What do you think, Greg?
I think that the build for this is a lot worse than it could be. I mean, Cena's working with what he's got. If Taker's not showing up till WrestleMania, I mean, he can only do so much. Cena's promos, though, whoever's writing for him needs to figure out a path. It's like he can't be goofy JBL is poopy John Cena and be intense John Cena in the same 10-minute promo. He can't do it because it kills the build of the match. Yes, John Cena versus The Undertaker will be a big match regardless because it's John Cena versus The Undertaker. Period. End. The streak doesn't even matter in this situation. It's Cena Taker at Mania. That's the match people wanted to see for years. And regardless of the build-up, and this is another thing. People always crap is like, I'm not really excited about this match because of the build-up. You have to think about it from the fact that you don't really need a strong story to have a good match. Case in point, and I'm going back 17 years now, Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit. Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit, WrestleMania 17. Do you know when their build started? The Go Home Raw.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 17. That's when their build started, and they had probably one of the best matches of the night on a very stacked card.
And Greg, what I'm surprised WWE hasn't done is, remember when Cena came in on SmackDown, Ruthless Aggression, didn't he have, like, it was the Biker Taker back then, the American Badass. Wasn't there some interactions with, I'm surprised we have not seen Cena bring up some of this old footage. Any other thoughts on that? And then if not, pass it on to Aaron. I want to hear his take.
Well, they might not be building up the whole, Cena started his career getting respect from The Undertaker because of the American Badass thing, or the Red Devil, or whatever he was at that point.
That would draw a lot of buzz.
It would, but at the same time, maybe they want to save that and save a bigger surprise for when I still think he's going to come out as the American Badass. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know at this point. But I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, as I've mentioned on other videos that if Undertaker doesn't come back as the American Badass now, I think people are going to be disappointed. There's been so much internet hype over this that if he just shows up as the old Undertaker, we're all going to be like, well, why wait all these weeks just for it to be the regular Undertaker again? So I'm not sure how I feel about the build-up, but I think the match itself, when push comes to shove, I think it'll be very entertaining. I think the crowd will be very hot for the match, and it should go down as one of the all-time great WrestleMania matches. I would be surprised if it's somehow worse than Reigns versus Undertaker from last year. I feel like this will be a better match, and Undertaker will redeem himself from last year. At least I hope that, but my gut feeling is it will deliver. Jeff, your thoughts on it?
Well, Aaron, you and I were already working together by the time I'm going to bring this up. 2003 Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Undertaker had been off TV. Big Show, had Big Show write him off by throwing him off the stage. When he was coming back, there was hype then that he was going to return as a dead man then. And he didn't. And I remember you and I and our co-host at the time were like, see, it didn't deliver.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that's going to happen here, where we're so hyped up for the American Badass, the biker, whatever you want to call him. And then the gong and he walks out as the dead man. We're going to be like, okay, well, we didn't expect that, but let's see what happens. I think we're putting too much emphasis on the persona and not on the fact that, okay, we're going to have Undertaker versus John Cena on the grand stage. Regardless of which Undertaker comes out there, this is the chance for Undertaker to redeem himself one way or the other from last year, and it's a chance for Cena to possibly exit gracefully.
Yeah.
And I think we're missing one point here. This match is catering not to like us. It's catering to those 7, 10, 12-year-old kids.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, yes, some of them, started watching wrestling, and Taker was already down on his schedule, only doing WrestleMania. Cena, but Cena has been big, and so they know who these guys are, especially if they have the WWE Network, which they do. I think WWE's pushing this match towards them, so it's going to be very interesting because we know how hot or quiet those WrestleMania crowds can be. But anyway, I'm excited for it. I'm going to be there. Again, maybe I'm biased. With that said, Shane and Daniel Bryan is now official versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens per Daniel Bryan on SmackDown. So I guess what I want to ask each one of you is, what should we expect, or should we be excited for this? Obviously, we know Daniel Bryan has not worked for a few years now. We did see that little bit a couple weeks ago on SmackDown. Well, it was actually last week on SmackDown. He did nothing this week. How much do you think Daniel Bryan will be wrestling in this match? And should we be excited? I mean, I don't even know. I guess should we be excited because what's going to happen? It's Shane and Daniel Bryan who've been at odds. Aaron, I'll start with you this time.
So I'm looking forward to the match. I think there's a lot of question marks about this match. For one, what kind of shape will Daniel Bryan be in? What will he be able to do? And the other question now is, what kind of shape will Shane McMahon be in for this match? With his whole illness, he is apparently still going to be there. I'm really curious as to how this plays out. And the other thing, too, is what order match placement will this match be? Is it going to be the opening match? Is it going to be halfway through the show? There's a lot of questions. Is Daniel Bryan going to win his first match back? Are Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn going to remain fired? So many things I'm wondering about this match. It's definitely got me intrigued, and I'm really curious to see how it goes down. Greg, your thoughts on the match?
Part of me thinks, and I'm kind of hoping that the whole diverticulitis thing is a work. I really am. If it's not, I know it's a serious illness because Brock Lesnar had it too.
Yeah.
And if Shane McMahon is healthy, this match will be fantastic. And everybody knows, who's watching me on videos, that I'm a big Shane O'Mac supporter, and especially Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. You got 4 of the best in-ring performers working a tag match together. I think it's going to be spectacular. Maybe I'm hyping it up too much in my mind, but with Daniel Bryan's return to the ring, his first match in, 3 years? Close to 3 years? Because he retired shortly after WrestleMania, or his last match was shortly after WrestleMania 31, because he retired as Intercontinental Champion. I just think this match is going to be something special. I think there's going to be more to the story played out at WrestleMania. So it's going to be one of those, I feel like it's going to be some sort of heart-wrenching moment or like really exciting moment that's going to happen in this match. This is definitely a match to watch at WrestleMania. Jeff?
And Jeff, before you start, what I'm interested here, last time we were at New Orleans for WrestleMania, there was a gasp moment when The Undertaker lost for the first time. I don't know why I have this feeling, and I don't know where it's going to happen. I think there's going to be something where the crowd's just like, could this be that match? What do you think?
Yeah, it's one of those things where people have been talking about Daniel Bryan turning for so long and joining up with Owens and Zayn that we're actually not. Oh, it might happen now. Holy crap, it might happen at WrestleMania. But I think that anything but a Daniel Bryan babyface victory at WrestleMania, people are going to be like, oh, really? Because Bryan's our guy. Bryan has been our guy. Bryan's been Aaron and my guy for freaking 13 years or whatever it's been since we're going to PWG. But it just, I don't think it can work any other way than Bryan getting some sort of big babyface moment. I think if he turns heel, it'll be a gas moment, like you said, Virtue, but it'll be crapped upon.
What if, I don't mean to interrupt you, I want to add to what you were going to say. What if Shane turns heel? Because I remember I said last time, not me. I can't believe I said
El Virtuoso.
I've heard, yeah. Well, I had to watch this idiot that Aaron put on the show to see if he was better than me. But I heard him say Shane versus Bryan at SummerSlam and have Bryan finally beat a McMahon. So can you see something like that?
I was just going to say, if anybody's going to turn, it's got to be Shane. Number one, if he's not healthy by WrestleMania, they got to work something where Bryan's going to do the majority of the work. So he's going to be in there, kicking butt and, taking the beating from Owens and Zayn, or Steen and Generico, whatever the hell they're calling them right now. And I think personally it should be Bryan goes for the hot tag and Shane comes in a la Ric Flair at Halloween Havoc and just guzzles Bryan with Owens and Zayn. That's what I would do.
Interesting. It's WrestleMania season. You know what? We're almost there. So earlier I talked about
week is next week, baby. It's all I gotta say.
That's right. And I'm going to be heading down there on Thursday. Earlier I talked about protecting. I used Ronda Rousey as an example. WWE still knows how to protect. And correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron. You know more details on things than I do. So Charlotte was pulled from the mixed match challenge because of sickness or injury, and they replaced her, Bobby Roode. It was Bobby Roode and Becky.
Yeah.
Why do you think they did this? Of course, blatantly, they don't want Charlotte and Asuka to square off yet because they want to save it for Mania, or is there something else that I didn't pay attention to or I didn't see? Remember, I thought Rousey got to Stephanie way too soon. So is this classic WWE protecting here for Mania? What do you think?
So actually, it has nothing to do with Charlotte and Asuka getting in the ring before WrestleMania. That is still on for next week. Charlotte is going to be in the finals with Bobby Roode against Miz and Asuka as originally planned. What happened was she had the dental surgery. She had some sort of gum infection, and that's why she was pulled this week. Becky Lynch just took her place for the 1 week, and WWE stuck with their booking plan and had Becky Lynch and Bob Roode go over. So next week, it's going to be the finals. Yeah, Bob.
So with that said, why would you? So granted, Charlotte had the dental surgery. Why would you put an alternate in there and then go back to Charlotte? To me, that's so convoluted. They should have played it off like they were protecting Charlotte, or Charlotte didn't want to face Asuka, turn Charlotte heel. Why don't they do stuff like this? I mean, that's really what I wanted to get to, because this is ridiculous that they put put her back in for the final. It's dumb.
Yeah.
It's like when Booker T got hurt and they put in Randy Orton. It's just a matter of injury. You know, they got to do what they got to do to get through the angle.
But to go back to Charlotte because they won, you know, it's like at that point, why didn't you just have the other team win? So then you don't have to worry about doing that. Who did they beat
in the finals?
Well, yeah, because I think Greg, correct me if I think what Greg's going with is I would love to see Charlotte and Asuka get in the ring and have that moment before Mania going, oh my God, we're going to see it now, and then Charlotte tags out and turns heel or something. It does something very Flair-ish.
No, I bet something like that happens and Miz tags Asuka. Like,
oh, there you go. There you go.
I feel like the finish is going to be between Miz and Bobby Roode. Okay, I don't see it being Asuka and Charlotte, because if Asuka taps Charlotte out just 5 days before WrestleMania,
the Mania's screwed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I just think it's weird. Yeah, I just think it's weird that they're doing that. And granted, I guess you can't predict when somebody has to be out for whatever, but it just, to me, it doesn't make sense. You have an alternate, and then but I guess in basketball and in sports you can sub a player in and out. So whatever. Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. Aaron, when does that air? Tuesday night?
Yeah, that's next week. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how this
Tuesday Night Live, baby.
But yeah, if I had to make a prediction,
maybe Becky comes out and gets involved. Anyway,
maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, my prediction is that it's going to be Miz pinning Bobby Roode, and that'll be how Miz and Asuka win the finals. I don't see anything else other than that happening. I think Asuka beating Charlotte would be a mistake. You know, you want to keep Charlotte as strong as possible. I don't think she should be losing to Asuka heading into WrestleMania. That's just my take on it.
Right.
Interesting. All right. Who wants to walk? No, not with Virtue. With Elias. So I was at Raw. I see how he comes out. They turn their lights down. You see him walking down to the ring. He gets in. They do that whole. The crowd gets into it. And, you know, Aaron, I know you said in the past it's easy to insult the crowd and get heat. Yeah. But I swear Elias does have an old school. The way he approaches it feels organic, like he's not fed lines to get the crowd to react. He's just going on what he learned, who trained him. And to me, does this guy not have anything for WrestleMania? Could he be Braun's tag team partner? Maybe. Now, in his promo on Raw, I heard him say, and this is me getting ahead of myself, I heard him say the word electric. With that said, what should Elias have at WrestleMania? Or is he just going to be thrown in the Battle Royal? Jeff, I will start with you. I really like this guy.
Elias has grown on me like a fungus. He really has. He's kind of like I don't want to get into him, but I can't help myself. The guy is too good to not be into, I don't think. But I'd like to see him be Braun's partner just because it's so ridiculous. That it would almost make so little sense that it would make sense, if that makes any sense what I just said. But there's talk that Aaron NoDQ report. Shut up, Greg. There's NoDQ reported that it's going to be Mysterio maybe in there with Strowman, which would be another one like what? Yeah. So who knows? But I personally would rather see Elias in the tag match than in the Battle Royal.
Okay, Greg.
Well, I think they're just. With the Mysterio reports, I think they're just trying to throw people off to keep people guessing. I don't think there's anything to that. The thing with Elias is, I mean, we watched him in NXT, and Elias has kind of like that Alexa Bliss type thing. And hear me out here, because Alexa Bliss wasn't a huge deal in NXT, but upon coming to the main roster, she's one of the hottest things like in the women's division in a long time. Right. And Elias is doing the same thing for the men. I just think that could Elias be his partner? Yeah. But I think he's going to more likely be given a segment, possibly with a WrestleMania legend. The WrestleMania legend's going to beat him up because that's what happens to heels at WrestleMania. And that'll be that. And possibly with the electric, perhaps we see The Rock. I'm guessing that's what you were alluding to, Virtue.
I mean, I'm going to be there, of course. Give me everything, right? So I'm thinking that way.
That's it.
Aaron, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think Greg nailed it. I think it's going to be Elias doing some sort of concert. He's going to be on the guitar, and then somebody is going to interrupt him. Will it be The Rock? I mean, that would be cool, but I don't think people should get their hopes up for that happening. I could see Jeff Jarrett. I think Jeff Jarrett's a more realistic possibility. Jeff Jarrett's going to come out and hit Elias with the guitar and give give Elias a little taste of his own medicine.
Acoustic equalizer.
Hey, Aaron, why can't for once, though, Jarrett do some business, and he comes out to do that, but he gets laid out? A Hall of Famer, you know how over that could help get Elias? I mean, that's the stuff that I think we miss in wrestling.
Yeah.
Guys passing the torch.
But it's showing respect to the
feel-good
legend.
moments are but his feel-good moments, Friday night at the Hall of Fame, walking out on the ramp, doing the wave. I'm serious about that. I mean, to me, would it be wrong if I booked WWE? I bet you I could talk them into that angle.
The problem with
Jarrett and Elias, that is.
The problem with Elias getting one over on Jarrett is that people have been talked down about for Jeff Jarrett by WWE for so long that it's like, okay, well, the core WWE fans, the 9 to 12-year-old kids, like you're talking about, Virtue, they're not going to care that Jeff Jarrett gets one over on Elias because who is Jeff Jarrett? Oh, it's that guy that Vince fired on the last Nitro. We don't care about him. Yeah. So that's just my take on it, though.
Yeah, I don't.
But Aaron, do you want to finish on your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal if Jeff Jarrett lays out Elias, but it could happen the way you described it. Maybe Elias will get the best of Jeff Jarrett. Maybe Jarrett will attack him, and then backstage Elias could jump Jarrett and hit him with a guitar. There's several ways you could approach it. So yeah, I think that's what's going to happen with Elias, and I don't think he's going to be the tag team partner for Strowman. Mysterio just did an interview literally a day or so ago and said that he's got the bicep injury and he's going to be out for at least a month. He's not going to have surgery. So I don't think it's going to be Mysterio. I think that's just pure speculation by people. I don't think there's anything to it. And my guess is it'll be either Joe or Big Cass, one of those two. And I think the one that's not Strowman's partner will probably win the Battle Royal if I had to make a prediction.
Interesting. And you know what? I can't fault you for saying that. Those are good picks. Hey, Aaron.
Well, we'll get to predictions next week for WrestleMania. So there you go.
Yes.
Aaron, I have a topic here.
Okay.
And everybody knows how I said Rusev Day was a fad. It was a chant. Wasn't going to happen. Well, he didn't get pushed to the main event. But the best part to me about SmackDown this week is he is now in, correct me if I'm wrong, the United States Championship match. It's now a fatal four-way. So, to me, this is a big deal. Now, granted, Jinder Mahal, Bobby Roode, heck, who's the champion? Randy Orton. It's like I'm forgetting. It's like it's easily forgettable because, but not Randy's fault. WWE Creative's fault. But adding Rusev to this makes it interesting. And I know we're going to do predictions next week. But here's what I want to ask: is this a big deal? I think it is because Rusev now has something, and they got it. They got to run with this guy. I don't know if they'll do a reboot. You know how they do a brand reboot after Mania? It's, different feuds, this and that. Rusev needs to be a focal point. Aaron, I'll start with you because I know you love this and the gimmick with Aiden English. And are they going to keep them together after Mania?
That's a great question. I think they will for the time being because they work well together, and it definitely helps Aiden English to be associated with Rusev. It's a good pairing. I like the pairing. The match with Rusev added, I think, changes the whole dynamic of it. I think it makes the match a lot more intriguing. I think it's going to be a better match with Rusev. I think it's going to have more crowd heat with Rusev. And I'm really curious now to see how this goes. I don't think Rusev's going to win the title, but I'll have to see how next week's SmackDown Live plays out before I make a final prediction. It would surprise me, but I'm not going to rule anything out with that one. Jeff, your thoughts on the match?
I did not get into Rusev very well when he first came in because I thought, here's another, foreign sympathizer guy, just whatever. But you know what? Kind of like Elias, but Rusev took even longer for me to get into. And I love that they're doing something with him and that it was organic. That, they said Rusev Day once and it built. And it's become this thing now where, Don and I were at SmackDown about a month or so ago at Staples Center, and people were going nuts that Rusev was not on the show in front of the crowd. He was on a backstage segment, but he wasn't in front of us in the live arena. And Rusev's over. Rusev Day is not over. It will never be over. It's always Rusev Day now. So I love that he's in this match. And I would love to see him win just for the sake of WWE going, okay, you know what? You like this guy. We're acknowledging that. Here you go. Here's him. And then what Rusev does is, I have U.S. title again. Ha, ha, ha. You stupid Americans. And just completely just crap on everybody and turn back heel. That's what I would do.
Greg, and trust me, on this one, I have a great prediction that I think I could see WWE do, but we'll talk about that next week. Greg,
Right.
thoughts on Rusev Day being in the U.S. title match?
I think it makes it from a kickoff show match to a main card match.
Yep.
Because that crowd, I think it's going to be the opening match of the main card. That's exactly what I think is going to happen. Because you'll start off WrestleMania, Aiden English will come out, that crowd will lose their freaking minds. And
you called it. You called it, man. Definitely.
Yes. And I know, like we said, we're doing predictions next week. But if that match has anything other than Rusev winning the United States title, there's something wrong with the booking.
Yep.
Hey, I just wanted to add something. I'd love to see Elias and Aiden English do some sort of duet together at WrestleMania. So it's usually a show when we get Raw and SmackDown merged together. I'd love to see the two of them do something together, have a segment together. That would be awesome. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yep.
Featuring Joey and Paul.
I like that idea, Aaron. Entertainment.
Oh,
Sports entertainment.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, we can easily predict now, but let's wait until next week. Let's give the NoDQ Galaxy something more to look forward to. On to the next topic.
All right.
Did you see the Miz TV segment?
Hoy.
So here's the thing. I'm there. Me and my buddies, we're elbowing each other because we're seeing where it's going, right? The whole, Mr. Perfect thing, the way that it was panning out like, oh my God, they're blowing up.
Yeah.
Balor and Rollins are getting the Miz Taraj to turn on the Miz. And I was like, God, they have to beat Balor and Rollins up and have some heat for the Miz. And what happened? It went that way.
Yep.
We're rejoicing. We're over here like, thank you. You know how to give a heel some heat. They took it all away, and Miz still looked foolish, and I have a problem with this. How do you go from a great segment where it should have ended? It should have ended after they did that turn, so to speak. They should have powdered. The club should have came out, right, and that's when they could have powdered, but they were never touched. That was just my opinion. Give the heat to the Miz and the Miz Taraj. Now, I know we got Raw coming up, so maybe they'll do that on Raw, and maybe the Miz will retain the title. I don't know. I thought this went from great to crap. Greg, I'll start with you. Am I nuts?
The way they've been booking the Miz lately is he has to get one over at some point. I mean, the one-sided thing worked when it was Batista, Cena, and Batista, the heel, was getting all the one-ups on Cena. That works. The babyface is getting over on the heel every time makes it like, okay, well, if they were to beat him at WrestleMania, it's no big deal because they've always been able to get one over on him. Right. So it's a weird booking for this triple threat. I really wish, and my dog's not happy about it either. I mean, he's freaking out about the Miz.
It's not me for once. Woo!
Yeah, it's not you. The fact that Balor won't be the demon, and I guess that's speculation too, but they really haven't alluded to that at all. He won't have a demon WrestleMania entrance, which is really annoying me. And I don't know. It's just a weird. It's going to be a good match. It's just weird how they're booking it.
They're making the Miz look like he can only win by extreme measures of cheating and hijinks. Jeff?
It goes back to a segment we covered a long time ago. Aaron and I covered this a long time ago for WrestleMania 22. When we went into the main event at WrestleMania 22, and all Triple H could talk about was how bad a wrestler John Cena was. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, if Cena sucks so bad, if he beats you, then you look really bad. And if you beat him, you beat a crappy wrestler, no big deal. Mm-hmm. The Miz has been beat up and beat up and beat up. And so if he wins at Mania, oh my God, a crappy guy that has no heat pulled it off. What horrible booking. And if he loses, well, he was supposed to lose, no big deal. He has got to get some serious heat back Monday night, or this match falls completely flat.
Bingo. Aaron.
Yeah, great point. I really have nothing else to say about it. I think Jeff hit it right on the head. I think the Miz needs some credibility. I do like the cowardly champion. It's a good gimmick, but I think Miz does need some credibility sometimes. You need to do something with the guy and give him a little bit of a rub and give him some heat, like you said, Virtue. I think you guys all made great points, and I really have nothing else to add to it. I hope on Monday Miz does something to give himself some credibility and make him a feared champion. He's not just a guy who relies on the Miztourage, but a guy who can get the job done by himself if needed. Give him a big win or give him something on Raw without the Miztourage helping him out. That's what I would like to see on Raw, at least.
Good point. And you know what? I can't go my first review back without talking. And I didn't even put this on the bullet points that I sent you guys in our private chat. Roman Reigns. So here we are. A year ago, we knew, after WrestleMania season, we knew they were booking Roman Reigns to Brock Lesnar for WrestleMania 34. We're here. Started off intriguing several weeks ago when Roman cut, a worked shoot type promo. And what did WWE do after that? They did have the little fourth wall break with Roman and Vince, with Shane and Gorilla.
Yeah.
And it's just been absolutely nothing. It's basically Heyman cutting his promos, Roman getting beat up. Your classic Vince McMahon have the hero getting beat up, having the villain voice and Heyman talking down, talking up his client, just so we can get Roman the Universal title at Mania. And I'm telling you what, I can't blame Roman and I can't blame Brock. I mean, these guys are Brock I could for not showing up as much, but that's his contract. I mean, wouldn't you get the most money for the little amount of work you can do? We all would.
Yeah. I'm
blaming Vince McMahon, WWE, and the creative guys in Vince's inner circle working on this angle. If it's going to go on last, you should pull in Vince Russo type booking or Ed Ferrara or Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's in the angle. Yeah. Jeff, I'm going to start with you. What could have made this more interesting? We don't have much time left.
I would have honestly not let either. It goes back to what we talked about with Charlotte and Asuka, or excuse me, Stephanie and Ronda. Don't have them touch. Period. The fact that I mentioned this last week on the review, I believe. The fact that Roman kept calling Brock the words he was calling him, that I got made fun of for censoring my own words last week. It was funnier than heck, though. But the fact of the matter is, they touched because Brock ended up acting like a punk and attacked him from behind when he was handcuffed. The booking of this is so bad in general. I would have had Roman continue to run Brock down and have Heyman not Brock at all. Have Heyman come out there and yak, and then eventually, maybe on the go-home show this coming Monday, have Roman drop Heyman.
Yes.
And then Brock is just rage at WrestleMania that we see this amazing back and forth like we had when Aaron was there at 31. It just beat the crap out of each other for how many minutes it was.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Jeff. I think that's a really strong point. Although I will say that they already did that last year with Samoa Joe beating up Paul Heyman, so it has been done. If it was me, if it was me, I would have just had Brock no-show every episode of Raw all the way up to WrestleMania. So he doesn't show up at all, and you're wondering what's going to happen. Is there even going to be a match? I think that would have been a lot more compelling. And it's not like WWE needs the pay-per-view buy rate. It's not like this match is going to prevent people from tuning into WrestleMania. So you could build up some intrigue and have Brock no-show and make people wonder, is this guy even going to show up? Is there going to be a Universal title match, period? That's what I would have liked to have seen. This thing that they're doing now, it's very predictable. It's very bland, but maybe there's a method to the madness. Maybe WWE knows that the fans are going to be pissed off about Roman Reigns being booked as an underdog, that they're going to boo even louder and make more noise, and that's what they want. They don't care about Roman Reigns getting booed. They just want the noise. They just want people to make noise, and this very well could be done by design, purposely booking Roman Reigns like an underdog because they know the fans resent that, and they're going to boo Reigns and make noise for the match. Greg, how do you see it?
The way I see it is I'm fine that they have the physicality before. The thing is, they made it look like a work. If Roman is saying the things about Brock that he was saying, it should look like they are legitimately beating the crap out of each other, and the whole thing should be a shoot. That's how I would have booked it. I'm fine with Brock being there. I'm fine with Roman running them down. But the way they're booking it, it's like, okay, well, the last 2 weeks were work, so it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. And the way they're booking it, it's going to main event, which drives me insane. I still think, and I've said this for months, that the Universal title, Roman and Brock, should open the show.
Yep.
Interesting. And, we are going to have a very, very interesting WrestleMania preview next week.
Yes,
I wish we could fast forward because I want to talk more about certain things and details now. But we're gonna stall. So
keep them waiting. Keep them guessing.
Main event time. Finally. And by the way, don't expect these videos to be an hour all the time. We are now streamlining because we're going to be giving you more content. So maybe you'll get more videos than just one No DQ review every week. But with that said, here's my topic. You guys ready for this? Favorite WrestleMania match of all time. Now, I know we've done No DQ panels, but this is WrestleMania season. And Jeff, you've been watching all the WrestleManias lately. Yep. So I'm going to go to each one of you, and you can do this. Don't start listing a bunch of matches. You can say one honorable mention, but I want to know each one of your favorite all-time WrestleMania match. Jeff, since you are Mr. WrestleMania this time of year, watching every one.
Yeah, true story.
Go.
Mainly because I was there, but also because it was a wonderful match and a great story. Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 24.
So that's your all-time WrestleMania match?
My favorite all-time WrestleMania match that I've seen. I was a part of it. I was in that crowd. I was in that moment with Flair, with Shawn, with everybody. I still watch. I still get teary-eyed when I watch it from home 10 years later. And I also put that match and that Mania with my son being born, because he was born the Friday after WrestleMania. So that whole WrestleMania just tugs on my heartstrings every single time I watch it.
And isn't that what wrestling is supposed to be about, or getting into anything? Right. Literally, not just watching it as a show, but the memories you have personally because of it. Friends,
exactly.
Family.
Yep.
Good. That's a great one. Gosh, man, now we have to follow that. Greg, I'm putting you on the spot next. And since, I mean, again, you can, if you're undecided, do an honorable mention as well.
You know, my honorable mention, and I'm going with one that I was at, Undertaker, Triple H, Hell in a Cell, WrestleMania 28.
With Shawn
match. Yes, with Shawn Michaels as a referee. And, you know, my wife and Travis were both there. We were all seated together watching that WrestleMania. And we were on the edge of our seat. We were standing. It was absolutely incredible to watch 20-0 happen. But the match I have to give the edge to is going to have to be, involves two of those men, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, WrestleMania 25.
That's a great match.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really go
probably
wrong there.
The greatest WrestleMania match in history. I'd say 26, and a lot of people may give me crap for this. I haven't watched it yet because I refuse to.
Because Shawn retired.
Shawn retired. I refuse to watch the match.
I will not acknowledge his retirement. I will not.
Interesting. So those are good picks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Aaron, you've probably been on record of this 100 times, but go ahead on this video for the review on the NoDQ Galaxy.
I think everybody knows my all-time favorite is Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, or not Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, actually. Bret Hart, Steve Austin, the submission match from WrestleMania 13. I just have Shawn Michaels on the brain here, and I'll tell you why in a second. That WrestleMania 13 match, that made the Attitude Era. That's the real transition from the New Generation era to the Attitude Era, and made Steve Austin a superstar. The double turn was flawless. It was such a compelling storyline. I love everything about it. One of my all-time favorites. Actually, my all-time favorite match, period, not just WrestleMania, is that submission match. Biggest match, in my opinion, not just in terms of the quality, but the importance of that match and how it changed the entire industry. My honorable mention is a match that I saw in person, and that was Shawn Michaels, as I mentioned a few moments ago, against Kurt Angle from WrestleMania 21. My all-time favorite match that I've seen in person. So that's my honorable mention, and that's there because I was in person for that one, and just an amazing, almost perfect match.
Yeah, and everybody on NoDQ staff was there except me and my co-host and XMB at the time, Lee. Everybody was there except us.
Yeah, a lot of people
we were home, actually. We were here watching at home.
Yeah, a lot of people were at that show.
This is a tough one. Yep. So, and again, great choices, Aaron. I mean, really, we're building a list here. I mean, these are all the top 10 all-time great matches.
I did a top 34 WrestleMania match video recently, and all the matches we've talked about were on that list.
Yep.
So I'm going to throw. So obviously, I do like Steamboat Savage, but so many matches have happened since then. It's up there. My honorable mention. It's not going to be on your list, Aaron, but I'll give you my reasons. It was Shawn Michaels and Steve Austin at WrestleMania 14. Because I'm really conflicted why this isn't my number one. It wasn't not a great match because Steve was off of a broken neck the year before. Shawn's back was blown up to all hell.
Right.
But the way, Shawn didn't want to lose his spot, but he knew he needed to go away for a while. He had demons. He had the severe back injury, and it was time. It was time. This was time that WWE was going to kick WCW's butt, and he did it. He still was a professional, and he did it. And I'll tell you what. I go back and I watch that match, and I see the pain in Shawn's eyes, and the Tyson thing. That was just icing on the cake. To me, that was awesome. It takes me back to high school, my senior year. Again, can you fault me for loving that match?
No,
but it wasn't my all-time favorite. It will always be, and I don't know. I mean, not even Jeff and Matt could take a brotherly feud, a family feud. And you did have Shane and Vince, whatever. Owen Hart and Bret Hart. I have still not seen a compelling story where two guys worked it to make you think they really hated each other. And the fact that it went on first, and we've talked about this on NoDQ panel videos, it went on first, it delivered, right up there. Again, match of the night for me, favorite match of all time. I know we had Shawn and Razor. They had a gimmick, though. It was a ladder. Just the fact that it led to Bret winning the title, everybody going out there and celebrating with him, and I think what topped it off, what made that opening match with Bret and Owen better, was they let Owen come out and they did the shot from the aisleway, looking in disgust at his brother who was given that opportunity. Yep. So again, that's what just happened anyway. So Owen coming out at the end, to me, that's what made the match even better. Because when Bret won, when he beat Yokozuna, and then the locker room came out and celebrated with Bret, where was Owen? The camera was behind him, showing him watch Bret in disgust. And again, that I love the stories, and if I felt back then, I was 13 or 14, I knew wrestling was fake, but I suspended my disbelief. So everybody, great choices. Obviously, and mine might change this year. I'm going to be at WrestleMania, so maybe I'll see something live that'll become memorable. Do I think it'll be better than the Owen and Bret? Probably not, but we will see.
It's amazing how much a live Mania can change it, because WrestleMania 2000, for the most part, was god-awful, but it was my first Mania, so it was special to me because it was my first. It's 2000 was pretty much a craptastic WrestleMania, but it was still good for me because I was there.
Right.
So that's a good point. And you did have Jericho, Benoit, and Angle, right?
True Fall Triple Threat, yes, sir.
Yep. And the Triple Threat ladder match.
The original before TLC, before it was called TLC. That's true. But on the whole, if you remember, there was not one non-gimmicked singles match that whole night. Yeah. And for me, I love singles matches more than anything else. So it's kind of okay, when you watch it back, go, God, that was really bad. But you realize you're there, and you're in the moment of WrestleMania, which is what it's all about.
Right.
And it is Mania season. And with that said, Aaron, I'm going to start with you. What's going on? I know you always got a lot. Did someone win the second beach ball?
Yes, we have a winner. He actually won it. Yeah, the most hated beach ball in the world, apparently. The NoDQ.
I think it now has to make an appearance on every review video going forward. That's my opinion.
I agree on that. I think the beach ball totally rocks, but that's just my opinion. But anyways,
my 10-year-old son loves it, so it's good enough for me, dang
Exactly. It brings joy to people. It makes people happy, and that's what life is about, is having fun and being happy. Why hate something that brings joy to kids? But whatever.
Why must there be hate? Why?
Yeah, where is the love, as the Black Eyed Peas once said. But anyways, I do have beach balls still available, nodqmisc@gmail.com. I have beanies in production, and as Jeff mentioned at the beginning, we got the baseball caps, the prototype there. It's obviously a prototype. They just did a test.
It's crooked. Yeah, it's a little crooked. Yeah.
But if you guys like it, let us know. We will get some in production. And, of course, stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the latest. Greg, go ahead with your plugs.
You can follow me on Twitter at PA Sensation. Still trying to get to 1,000 people. Come on. What are you waiting for? Really? And season 4 of this is coming soon. Wrestling Trivia Challenge.
That is a beautiful bracelet, by the way. That is a $1,000 bracelet. That is an expensive piece of jewelry right there.
That's right up there with a Ric Flair Rolex, baby.
Rolex wearing. That's right. Woo!
I'm going to have to start my own bracelet wearing. I'll figure it out by the time season 4 comes around.
We'll get there after Mania, absolutely. 2 times. Yes. That's right.
2-time champion. I'll defend it after Mania because we got a lot going on. So stay tuned for that shortly after WrestleMania.
Jeff.
My turn. Okay. ProWrestlingTees.com. Search NoDQ video. NoDQ and AV is still on Pro Wrestling Tees, right, Aaron?
Yeah.
Okay, so search that. Check out. Ask Aaron if you want to see. Like I said, it'll look more like this when it's straight. So yeah, check out the baseball caps if you want them. Let us know. We'll get them made. And _ Jeff Meacham on Twitter and on Instagram. You can follow along with my WrestleMania journey. Although by the time this goes up, it'll be over. There you go.
And of course, everybody, you can follow me on Twitter at @NoDQ_virtue. I am less than 50 away from my goal in life of 1,000 Twitter followers. I don't know how. You can catch Virtue's Rage every week on NoDQ.com under the opinion section if you don't watch it on my Facebook Live. With me and Big G, we talk about Raw and SmackDown and any big stuff during, Raw Monday and Tuesday night. And with that said, it's great to be back on the NoDQ review.
Yay.
And next week, or the week before WrestleMania. So for Aaron Rift, for Greg Cherry, for Jeff Meacham, and for the whole NoDQ Galaxy, I'm Virtue, and we will see you next time.